there's never enough time. You just got to make time. You got to prioritize. There will always be way too many dreams to accomplish in one lifetime because it's easy to come up with dreams. It's easy to say, I want to do this. It requires 3 seconds. An idea pops into my head. That would be fun. I want to do that. Okay. You want to do that? Well, it's going to require 3 years of your life. It's going to require 10 years of your life. So if you have 80 years and 20 of that is gone already, it's non-existent, then with the 60 years remaining, do you want to dedicate 10 of those years to becoming the Olympic gold medalist for the 2032 triathlon event? It's an idea I have. It's like, okay, I'll be 31 years old. I want to, maybe do it when I'm 26, right? So I've got 4 years to train, 2028. That requires so much. To be the Olympic gold medalist in 4 years, my entire life would have to be dedicated to that for 4 years straight. It's not impossible. It's entirely possible. I know I could do it, right? If it was everything that I thought about. It wasn't like, oh, I want to go train for a marathon in every state. There's no building tables. There's no, the full focus 24/7 when I'm not making money in some way is how am I going to be the 2028 Olympic triathlon gold medalist, right? But that means 4 years of my golden age gone. I could be a gold medalist, but then, maybe not in 4 years. The guys who do it are training for 10 years, right? So maybe it would take 8 years, but let's say I did it in 2032, that's 8 years of my life dedicated to that. So gold medalists have lives too, and so maybe it's still possible to do that, right? I'm still going to be training, regardless of if I go to the Olympics or not. I'm going to train. So then maybe it's possible, and maybe the level that I'll be training at is similar to that of an Olympic athlete, even though I'm not giving it my all. And so maybe I could do it over 8 years. I don't know. It's just there's so many dreams. There's never enough time. You have to prioritize what actually matters. And so me winning a gold medal would be fun for me, but that's it. It'd show people what's possible, yes. Maybe if I did it on top of doing other things, it would show people that hey, this is nothing, becoming a gold medalist really is not crazy difficult. If you dedicate your life to something, you will be the best at that thing, And who knows? I'm saying this from a very limited point of view. So it could be the most difficult thing. I have no idea, I'm saying in the situation that if I won that whole thing, But it's very selfish of me to have that dream. My desires should be to have a lasting impact outside of me. Me winning a gold medal means nothing in the grand scheme of things. But if I write a book, if I create content or create a school, a product, whatever it is, whatever I end up doing, if that has an impact on millions of people, I could do that with 8 years of my life, Now, will I make the Olympics in my 40s? Probably not. So if I wanted to do that, it'd have to be now. It's probably out the door. It's probably not. But then again, Ironman World Champions. Why do I have to go to the Olympics? I could just go race the Ironman World Champions, right? At least compete in it just once in my life. That's entirely achievable. I know I can do that. So then I can bargain with myself within these categories of life. 100% full focus on the one thing that matters would look like, saying no to every single thing except the one thing. So if I wanted to become the best at making, 30-second comedy videos on Instagram Reels, then I wouldn't even cross-post to TikTok, or I would just pay someone else to do it and not even pay attention to, the views that it got me. That way I can just learn the Instagram algorithm 100% and just obsess over it. and then every single day I put out 20 pieces of content and get millions of views like daily, and just become the like 30-second Instagram reel comedy king on all categories, and start multiple accounts and test it, all these different things. And so then anything that took away from that would be a distraction, right? So 100% pure focus on the one thing in this example would look like I wake up, I don't read books, I don't watch television, I don't talk with friends. All those things are time that's spent away from the thing that matters. So if I want to balance multiple categories of life, because most people, including me, are really bad at utilizing their time efficiently. I just sat down for 35 minutes or whatever, just delaying action, waiting, seeing the Olympics on the TV, coming up with this dream to be a gold medalist in the triathlon. And that's 35 minutes I'm never going to get back, and it was just a stupid waste of time, right? I should always have a list of things that need to get done and should never be not doing something. But then when I get better at utilizing my time, I got to decide where to put that. And so there's these categories of my life. Right now they're body, mind, and soul, right? And then these dreams can fit within those 3 categories. So now I got to bargain with myself within those categories. Okay, I can do the Olympics, but that requires a different body type than, becoming like super jacked, right? Having muscles up top in your upper body doesn't help you for the triathlon. Maybe it helps you to swim, but for the bike and run, you just want to be the lightest possible athlete with the highest efficiency output with your legs, right? So I have to bargain with myself now and kind of realize like, okay, I can have a somewhat of a, built build, but I can't be crazy built, which I never really wanted to be jacked. I've always wanted to be kind of like this, but like probably, 40%, 30% bigger, just super dialed. This probably like 50% bigger, or no, probably like 100% bigger. But then my arms, like, not much more. You see what I mean? Like just the Greek god physique, right? The Greek physique. That's what I was gonna call it. The Greek physique Olympics. See? You can have these dreams, but you gotta understand that you have to decide. You can bargain within this category. We have to decide. So if I wanted to become a bodybuilder, I can't do that and be an Olympian. And maybe I could. It would just require a lot of changes in my physical structure. And so that would require a lot of time spent in the gym to build the body, but then as well, running to cut down in size. You see what I mean? Versus like the more efficient path would just be, okay, I'm only going to train for this one thing. Because in these 3 categories of life, I have to pick one thing each. And I can have little branches, but every single time I branch off within those categories, and even having 3 categories, right? And not just the one thing, but every time I branch off, it dilutes my focus. I think you have to have 3 pillars. You don't want to have one thing, because imagine the Olympians that spend 10 years training and they get 4th place by 0.1 second. And then they're too old and they're never going to qualify. And that was their Olympic run and that was their life, right? It's fun. It's cool. You crash. There's probably a lot of Olympians. Same thing with like young movie stars or, college athletes, right? Whoever it is, it's like they have this one category of their life that they succeeded at the top level for a very long time. And that was everything. And when that gets taken away from you, then you crash and you have not built up the other 2 pillars. This is why you have to have body, mind, and soul, right? And when you don't have the body, you rely heavily on work, because most of the time people don't build up their soul. You see what I mean? Then when you like lose your job, or when, I don't know, like I'll write a book on it that will dilute my focus. But then again, I can write a book when I'm 50. What are the things I should be doing now versus in the future? I can't compete, at the Olympic level when I'm 50. Maybe I could. I'm not going to put a limit on that, but physiologically speaking, it would be unrealistic to believe that I could compete with people that are biologically younger than me, right? So age doesn't even matter. It's just the age of my cells and the percent aliveness, whatever the word is, of my body. My body's starting to die when I'm 50, right? I have to bargain within these three categories and then against these three categories to set up my life so that I build all three at the same time, but I don't prioritize the one at the wrong time. I don't want to do the Olympics when I'm 50. If I did it, it'd have to be in the next 8 years. Do I want to be an Olympian? It's a selfish thing. Same thing with climbing Everest. I'm still going to do Everest because Everest requires a lot less training than competing at the Olympics. I don't know. I love the sport of triathlon. I love running has grown on me. I didn't used to like it, but now I really enjoy it. Biking, I know I'm just going to absolutely destroy biking. Swimming, I think I'll enjoy it when I learn how to swim, the form. So I'll continue to compete in triathlons. The 2 triathlons that I've done so far were really fun. I didn't place well at all. I was very slow. I did it on a mountain bike for one of them. Showed up to the race without being registered and bought my ticket 5 minutes before the start for the second one. But that's life. And I love triathlon. It's kind of fun. So I'll continue to do triathlons for the next year or two as I'm hitchhiking to all 50 states, running across the US, going on a date with someone in every state, whatever I end up doing, I'm always going to be training, right? So it's not the main focus. I'm shifting focus to the mind when I'm doing these other challenges, right? Because the mind category is what's the thing that you're putting your mind towards? What are you working on? What are you building? And for now, it would be a brand of social media videos to show people that it's not really that difficult. Nothing's that difficult. When you break 1,000 little beliefs in your head, nothing is difficult anymore. So then I'll still be building up this category of my body, and then I can kind of translate over. Okay, well, now I want to make a series based on, training for the Olympics or whatever it is. Ultimately, I need to find the one thing as fast as possible that can make me the most money as possible. That way I can kind of do whatever I want with my time. And I know that that's a spot that everyone wants to get to. Me saying it is not revolutionary. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, we're all on the same path. I want to generate a lot of value so that I can kind of coast on that value while I'm figuring out what to do with the rest of my time. Now, there's a phrase from Seneca, I believe. It's life is what happens when we're too busy planning for other things or whatever it is. It's the gist of the quote, maybe it's not Seneca, is if you're always planning for something and then the day-to-day happens, that's life, right? So the reason I bring that up, if I made all this money or generate all this value and I was able to coast, well then that's the difficult part. Is now what, right? Anyone could go out there and make a ton of money. People do it all the time. Billionaires are pretty boring, right? They spend money on stuff. They're very flashy. They found a way to generate a lot of value. They got lucky, potentially. They started early, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, they've experienced the world, but are they really interesting people? Maybe. But I don't know. I feel Jeff Bezos has all the money in the world, and now what? Because he has all the money, he doesn't want to go skydive. That's a little bit dangerous. He doesn't want to go live for a month in the Amazon rainforest. What if he dies? He's a very important man. You got to keep him safe. You see what I mean? So The blessing and the curse of generating all the value. Instead, just like constantly bargain with yourself. Is this what I want to pursue with my life? Commit 6 months, then a year, and then 5 years as you get more confident in those categories. And then slowly, you'll find the thing that you want to do, and the money won't matter. And you won't be in the position of power that would prevent you from taking the risk. And you can kind of like live on the edge, right? Now, that comes with less responsibility, but that's to your benefit in that scenario. I'm going to stop talking. I fly to Seattle tomorrow morning for the 27th marathon of the 50 States Marathon Challenge. I'm having a wild ride. It's been a fun year. Why not us?